The night didn't begin with laughter. It began with silence, thick and electric, the kind that presses against your chest and makes your heart beat louder than the music. The fire pit glowed like a living thing, and every islander knew that week 4 had changed everything. This was no longer about flirting for fun. This was about feelings that had grown roots, about kisses that meant something, and about hearts that were suddenly exposed for everyone to see. By week 4, the villa had stopped feeling like a holiday and started feeling like real life. Maya sat on the edge of the daybed, fingers twisting together, replaying every moment she'd shared with Ryan. Their first kiss had been playful, almost accidental, but every kiss since then had carried more weight. There were glances held too long, silences filled with meaning, and the quiet fear that what felt real might not survive the next challenge. Ryan felt it too, though he tried to hide it behind jokes and confidence. He had come into the villa promising himself he would not get attached. He had been hurt before, and Love Island was supposed to be fun, not dangerous. But somewhere between late-night talks and stolen kisses under the stars, Maya had slipped past his defenses. He could feel it now, like a truth he was avoiding. The first real challenge of the week tested everyone's honesty. A simple game on the surface, but each question peeled back another layer. Who were you really here for? Who made your heart race? Who could you see yourself with on the outside? When Ryan hesitated before answering, Maya felt it like a crack in her chest. It wasn't that his answer was wrong. It was that he had to think at all. That night, they argued quietly by the pool, voices low, but emotions high. Maya told him she was tired of guessing how he felt. Ryan admitted he was scared of promising something he might not be able to give. The argument didn't end with a kiss. It ended with distance, and that distance lingered like a shadow. Elsewhere in the villa, other couples faced their own storms. Zara and Leo, fiery and passionate, kept colliding because neither wanted to be vulnerable first. Samira, who had come in strong and confident, began to wonder if anyone truly saw her beyond her smile. Even the strongest connections started to shake as week 4 forced everyone to confront why they were really there. Then came the heart rate challenge. The announcement sent nervous laughter through the villa, but beneath the jokes was fear. This challenge was different. It didn't care about what you said. It exposed what your body couldn't hide. Everyone would dance, tease, perform, and the results would be there for all to see. Whose heart raced for whom, whose connection was real, whose wasn't. Maya barely slept that night. She kept thinking about Ryan, about whether his heart would betray him, about whether hers already had. She told herself it was just a challenge, just a game. But her heart didn't listen. The next day, the villa transformed into a stage. Music pulsed through the air, lights flashed, and one by one, islanders stepped forward. Some performances were playful, others bold, others deeply personal. Each time someone danced, the heart rate monitors told a story no one could interrupt. When Ryan stepped up, Maya forced herself to watch without flinching. He danced with confidence, but there was something restrained about him, as if he were holding back. Her heart raced anyway, faster than she wanted it to. She hated how easy it was for him to affect her. Then it was Maya's turn. She surprised everyone, including herself. She didn't perform for the group. She performed for the truth. Every movement carried the emotion she hadn't said out loud. The frustration, the hope, the fear of being seen, and the deeper fear of being dismissed. When she passed Ryan, she didn't touch him, but their eyes locked, and in that moment, everything they hadn't said hung between them. The results were announced slowly, painfully. Gasps, cheers, awkward laughter, hearts racing for unexpected people, connections questioned. But when Ryan's highest heart rate was revealed, it wasn't for anyone else. It was for Maya. The villa erupted, but Maya felt strangely still. It wasn't victory she felt. It was relief mixed with vulnerability. Ryan looked at her, eyes wide, as if seeing himself clearly for the first time. His body had told the truth before his mind could catch up. That night they talked again, but this time there was no arguing. Ryan admitted that fear had been running his choices. He confessed that every kiss they shared had meant more than he was ready to admit, that the thought of losing her scared him more than commitment ever could. Maya listened, tears in her eyes, and told him she didn't need promises about forever. She needed honesty in the present. They kissed then, not like before. This kiss was slower, grounded, full of intention. It wasn't about proving anything to the villa. It was about choosing each other, even with uncertainty. Week 4 didn't end all doubts. It didn't magically fix every fear. Zara and Leo still had to learn how to listen instead of fight. Samira found the courage to walk away from someone who didn't meet her halfway, choosing herself instead. Other couples cracked under the pressure, realizing that attraction alone wasn't enough. But the week changed everyone. Each kiss told a story, not just of desire, but of growth. Some kisses were endings, some were beginnings, and some, like Maya and Ryan's, were turning points, moments where fear loosened its grip just enough to let something real breathe. By the time the fire pit glowed again at the end of the week, the villa felt different, softer, braver. The Islanders had learned that love wasn't about performing perfectly or winning challenges. It was about showing up honestly, even when your heart was exposed. And as the night settled in, with laughter drifting through the warm air, one truth stood clear above all the rest. The strongest connections weren't built in the loud moments. They were built in the quiet decisions to stay, to speak, and to let your heart be seen, even when it was racing. Morning arrived softly in the villa, but nothing felt calm. Sunlight spilled across the bedrooms, yet most eyes opened heavy with thoughts from the night before. Week 4 had left marks on everyone, and the heart rate challenge had done what it was meant to do. It exposed truths people were still learning how to carry. Maya woke up before her alarm, staring at the ceiling, replaying Ryan's words over and over. He had admitted his fear, but fear didn't disappear just because it was named. She wondered what today would bring. Would he stay open or retreat back into jokes and half smiles? The uncertainty pressed against her chest, even as she reminded herself that honesty, once spoken, couldn't be taken back. Across the room, Ryan sat on his bed longer than usual, elbows resting on his knees. For the first time since entering the villa, he wasn't thinking about how he looked or what others expected. He was thinking about how close he'd come to losing something real. His heart rate hadn't just spiked for Maya. It had betrayed how deeply she mattered to him. The realization scared him, but it also grounded him. At breakfast, the villa buzzed with quiet conversations. Zara stirred her coffee aggressively, frustration written all over her face. Leo tried to lighten the mood with humor, but it fell flat. Samira sat with her back straight and chin high, smiling politely, even though she had barely slept. Everyone was processing something different, yet the tension connected them all. Maya and Ryan exchanged a glance from across the table. It was small, almost unnoticeable, but it carried more meaning than any dramatic gesture. Ryan eventually walked over and sat beside her. No big speech, just presence, Maya noticed, and something inside her softened. The next challenge announcement pulled everyone together, but this one wasn't physical or playful. It was about reflection. Each Islander was asked to share a moment from the villa that changed how they saw love. The task sounded simple, but vulnerability never was. One by one, people spoke. Zara admitted that her anger came from fear of being abandoned. Leo confessed he didn't know how to express emotion without turning it into conflict. Samira surprised everyone by saying she had spent years being strong for others, and the villa had taught her that strength also meant knowing when to walk away. When it was Ryan's turn, the villa fell quiet. He didn't look at the group. He looked at Maya. He said he came in believing love was something you controlled, something you kept light so it couldn't hurt you. But the villa had shown him that control was just another kind of wall. He admitted that every time he pulled back, it wasn't because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. Saying it out loud felt like stepping off a cliff. But for the first time, he didn't feel the need to catch himself. Maya's turn came next. Her voice shook at first, but she didn't stop. She said she had learned that wanting clarity wasn't asking for too much, that loving openly didn't make her weak, and that staying silent to keep the peace had only ever taught her how to shrink herself. She looked at Ryan and said she wanted to grow, not guess. The challenge ended without winners or applause, but it left something heavier behind: truth. Later that afternoon, cracks appeared where people hadn't expected them. Zara and Leo argued again, but this time it didn't explode. Instead, it paused. Zara walked away, choosing space over shouting. Leo didn't chase her. He sat alone, realizing that love couldn't survive on intensity alone. Samira packed her makeup bag slowly, deliberately. She wasn't leaving the villa, but she was leaving a connection that no longer felt mutual. When she told him, her voice didn't waver. The pain was there, but so was relief. The villa watched quietly as she chose herself, and something about that choice felt powerful. As the sun dipped low, Maya and Ryan found themselves by the pool again, the same place where they had argued nights before. This time, the air felt different. Ryan told her he didn't want to hide anymore, but he was still learning how to show up without fear steering him. Maya told him she was willing to walk with him through that learning, but not at the cost of her own voice. They didn't promise perfection, they promised effort. That evening, as laughter slowly returned to the villa, the islanders began to understand that love wasn't proven in grand moments alone. It was tested in the quiet hours after emotions settled, when choices had to be made without an audience. Week 4 had shaken them, but Chapter 2 of their journey had begun to shape them. Not into perfect couples, but into braver people. And in a place built on kisses and challenges, the real transformation was happening in the moments no one could vote on.